And folks, we are rolling. This is Val. It's your boy Z, and this is In the Zone with V and Z. You got that right.
Playoff edition.
Playoff edition, man. We in the flesh, man. You already know what time it is, man. Big blue, red, and white. No confusion over here, but this is divisional round. We got past Super Wild Card weekend. Our predictions were okay. I think you had them scoring in the 30s last week.
I got the 31 right on the money.
Yeah.
I had 31-21. So
I give you that. 31-21. I think I was 27-17. But yeah, man, another week, another day closer to the ultimate goal, which is the Super Bowl. Z, how you feeling, man?
It was a fun weekend, man. It was a fun weekend. Stadium was crazy. Energy was through the roof. Kyle Williams set it off.
Yes, sir.
Had that joint rocking from the jump. So, I mean, it's none that beat that playoff energy in the stadium. So just being able to be there and experience it. Team put on a show. So I'm in heaven. Playoff football is what it's for, man. We were so deprived of it for so long. But
17
now,
years,
after having it, 5 years in a row now, 6 years in a row, it's becoming it's the norm now. It's what you expect. It's the standard at minimum. So now that we here, when the games really count, it's money time.
Yeah, man. I think you just said it, man. We've come accustomed to where we stand right now. It's a great place to be because, we know we got our franchise quarterback. We know, majority of us fans know we got the right head coach. We got the right general manager. Obviously, you're hearing other teams going through searches, trying to find the right quarterback, the right head coach, the right GM.
Rex Ryan. I said, Jess, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's so many teams going through a lot, but I mean, to be where we stand, you got the MVP versus the MVP runner-up. You got, first team all-pro quarterback versus second team all-pro quarterback. You got two of the better fan bases in the world. Obviously, we know there's a lot of shit going back and forth,
Heavy.
But you know what? As I tell people all the time, man, like it was the same with Dolphins fans, a year or two ago. It was the same with Chiefs fans a couple of years ago. This fan base, we will always find an enemy, because number one, we're a passionate fan base, and number two, other teams are passionate as well. And when you sometimes get that collision over a important topic, you're going to get the clash of titans. But as I always tell people, and I've given this advice on this platform before, is like, ignore the negativity, ignore the bullshit, ignore the drama. This is about two teams that got to play each other on the field. All of the back and forth commentary just because Josh is your favorite quarterback and their favorite quarterback is Lamar Jackson. Guess what, guys? No matter which way you break it down, they both great players.
Yep.
We can appreciate them both. I know that we love to compare, and I think comparison is the thief of joy, as we've said before in many ways. But, like, we are about to witness two great teams, two
heavyweights going at it,
two great quarterbacks, two great running backs, two great head coaches. So, like, more than anything, enjoy the moment, because we all know in a blink of an eye, season can end any day, any Monday, any Sunday. So, like, I as we get into this matchup, I encourage people to truly just enjoy this moment for what it is. Being a Bills fan, I know it's something that we take to heart. We hear all of the negativity sometimes, and we don't focus on the positive. The positive is that every year we know we got a chance. Every year we know if you get tickets to those games, you're going to get a show. I know I don't take it for granted. Every time I upload my tickets and put it in my Apple Wallet, I'm excited because I'm like, time to get ready for another one. I get to watch one of the best athletes in the entire world, not just in Buffalo, not just in the United States. We are getting a chance to witness greatness.
Talking about Spencer Brown.
Yeah, Spencer Brown. Shout out to Spencer and Ty Johnson and those guys, And it's funny because everybody that we shouted out last week as unsung heroes for the regular season showed up, made timely plays last week. So, speaking of the back game, we don't want to hurry past it, even though we got to spend more time on this Ravens matchup. But Denver, What was one or two things that kind of like that you would, I guess, give an arrow up to, looking at that game?
Yeah, I mean, coming into it, I didn't have too much nervousness about it. Because granted, I know who the quarterback is, so I know and I trust that he can make plays even when faced up against a tough defense. And Denver just kind of reminded me of the Bills when Josh Allen first got here.
2019,
yeah, his first playoff run where we might have overachieved. We weren't really necessarily supposed to be here, but now that we're here, let's try to make some noise. And Denver's a solid team. Very, very good defensively. I think Bo Nix looks like he has a strong future. It's just a stage that they weren't necessarily ready for. Coming cross country, running up against a team who's done this year over year now in a hostile environment. It's just a tough situation. It's a tough environment, and all Buffalo had to do was hold serve, and they did. I mean, Denver came out, threw a nice little punch on their first drive,
Facts.
But then that was it. They put them clamps on them boys, and they weren't able to move the ball from there on out. And the Bills did what they did. Next thing you know, it's 10-7. You look up, now it's 31-7, 31-10. Like, it's just...
31-7, you was right. Yeah, they didn't score another point.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they didn't get that field goal.
Yeah, they missed that. The doinkies.
Yeah, the big doink. It's just next thing you know, they up 21.
Yeah.
And, it's just a matter of what can happen when the Bills are, taking care of business. So I like the clean game that they played. Nothing crazy, nothing overly frilly. They ran the ball, made timely passes when they need to.
Yeah. Shut
the run game down completely, and pretty much took the wind out of Denver's offense. So, I'll just say I'll put an arrow up on just the team as a whole. They sound like a McDermott special, but everybody played complimentary football.
Right.
No turnovers, but they, couple turnovers on downs, good special teams play. Definitely came up short in the red zone, but they were able to, overcome that with solid defense and still, getting points on the board. So, I mean, it was just a team win. No one stood out. I mean, shout out to, Curtis Samuel. He has a nice little game. And, shout out to the Bills, O-line and D-line, because, like I said, that's where the game is won and lost. So, it was just a team effort all the way around. Coaching, players, just a solid dub.
Yeah, and just to come off what you're saying, I think, man, arrow up got to definitely be for just the overall effort. I'll give a shout out to on both sides of the ball, because I think that we expect the offense now at this rate. We've seen them against elite defenses. We've seen them against average defenses, where we're almost expecting them to roll out 30 points every game. I mean, it is what it is. I'm sorry. I mean, after throwing 31 together wild card weekend versus a top 2, top 3 defense, I think you can almost start to expect that. I know Ravens are coming in last 8 or 9 games. They're ranked number 1 in a lot of categories. That's cute. The reality is that Josh Allen and Joe Brady right now have this offense going at a pace where they can slow it down when they want to. They can speed it up when they want to. They can run the ball when they want to. They can pass the ball when they want to. And I think that's the scariest thing about this offense. And obviously, we're going to see 2 great offenses this week. But I think what makes the Bills just a cut above, and I think really, I mean, if you look across the league, there's only 1 or 2 other offenses that can go toe-to-toe with them. And we played them this year, and that was Detroit and L.A. But when you look across the board, not too many teams can do both at a high level. Like, I give Baltimore credit. When they need to pass, Lamar can make a play here and there. He can find an open receiver. He can extend the play. And he can find you a wide open receiver and boom, get it to him. The difference for me is that when I watch this Bills offense is the level of patience, the level of just kind of collective, like, we know what we got planned next. Okay, you stop us on 2nd and short, we already got a plan on 3rd and 1. Okay, you stop us on 3rd and 1, we already got a plan on 4th and 1. We don't get the yards we want on 1st down, cool. On 2nd and 7, we got a plan. So, like, the Bills, and this is a credit to, obviously, the offensive coordinator, they have a plan for literally everything, where in early parts of the season, first 5 weeks, we kind of see them kind of, on and off.
Yeah,
not
definitely a filling out process.
Yeah, and guess what? I remember telling people, like, listen, this is Joe Brady's learning experience, because this is his first full season as an OC. Last year, he got thrown into the fire. He ran with it. and he did a good job. But this year was going to really be a test for Joe Brady because he was going to get different looks this year. And I think early on he had to work through that. But now you can see him, even if it seems like a slow start for the offense, they figure it out. And I think that's what they did against Denver. So my arrow up was just for, like you said, was just both sides of the ball, being able to stay patient, figure it out. Defensively, I definitely want to give them their flowers because, like you said, outside of the first 3 minutes of the game, they held them to 0 points for the remainder of the game. So for 3.5 quarters, 0 points.
I don't even think they crossed the
20.
50.
Yeah, right.
Goal.
And so you look, yeah, they had the attempt. So it's like, so for them, for a defense that came into the game seen as average, seen as a team that really can't be physical at the line of scrimmage, they can't stop the run. They have issues, I guess.
Too soft.
Yeah, so there was a lot of stuff thrown at that defense. I know the reporters were trying to do their job. They were asking Ed Oliver and a couple of the other veterans, like, hey, statistically, this is where y'all been having some weaknesses, and this is that. How you going to do this? How you going to do that? And I love the fact that we have enough veterans on that defense where they will show up and show some pride, because I think that this was one of those games where they say, you know what, we're going to let our field talk. We're going to let our actions do the talking. Like, I could sit here and give you a breakdown on why week 6 we did this, or why in week 4 we played this way. But I think for the Bills, whether it's Ed Oliver speaking up, Von Miller, Greg Rousseau, whether it's Terrell Bernard, Matt Milano, I know he don't speak much, but like, these guys honestly have a knack for, when you count them out or when you start to raise concerns about their level of play on the defense, they always find a way to rise to the occasion. And I felt like perfect game from a defensive standpoint. Even though DeMar Hamlin dropped the interception, he was active in the secondary, getting his hands on a lot of balls. Benford just doing his job, right? You know what I mean? It's almost like we expect Benford to just cover his side of the field. Right. Rasul doing his job. Matt Milano, people had their worries about him, off the injuries, etc. But Matt Milano covering his space and being a great quarterback spy. So I got so much confidence, so much more confidence, I should say, going into this second week of the playoffs, because now what was some people's biggest concern, the Bills have been able to show quickly that, guess what? Especially when we playing at home, we gonna fight y'all every inch. And it was good to see him do it without like the super big plays, because normally I remember on the radio there was a conversation about, well, the Bills would need interceptions or fumbles to be an effective defense, and
they did it without it.
They did it without that. I think they ended up with 2 total sacks, but like complete effort all the way around. Was there a particular player that you wanted to shout out to or give flowers to from the game before we move on?
Yeah, I just do one on each. For me, I guess it's kind of cheating, but it's just Josh and just his growth as a quarterback. Like, just looking at the Ty Johnson touchdown, the patience that he showed on that.
Yeah, rookie Josh wouldn't have did that.
Yeah, he would have ran around, he would have doubled back, and it'd have been a 15-yard loss or something, or a strip sack for a touchdown. It'd have been something crazy. But get out the pocket, completely stop, reset the pocket, find an open man, direct in traffic, get a absolutely perfect throw off, all while getting hit. Like, it's just to see his growth from rookie Josh to where he is now. It's just like, yo, you're doing things that no one thought could be done from a growth and development standpoint.
Yeah.
Just, completely being where he was as a raw prospect with technique issues and accuracy issues to where he is now. Like, it's like, he's just
crazy. He
has a knack for just making that play shouldn't happen.
Yeah, just making a play.
And like, the angle I had in the stadium, I said, oh shit, there go Ty. And to see him just run under that ball, I said, bro, what are we on? What are we on? And like, the fact I get to watch this every week, I'm just like, yo, this is my quarterback.
It's my quarterback. It's my team.
Yeah, so definitely shout out to Josh, and just the leader he is, the quarterback he is. Anytime he's on the field, your team got a chance. Right. And on defense, I think it was all around team effort, but just seeing some flashes of Vine out there is nice.
Yeah, a couple spin moves was looking crazy.
Yeah, again, it's another game where he's not on the stat sheet at all. However, his presence is felt in the game. Like
because if you're the quarterback, you got to get rid of it if you see 40 coming.
Because I mean, he was coming on that edge with the vengeance. A couple little
couple knockdowns
too.
he
So
had.
He owned one. He owned one. So just trying to and his snaps increased too last week dramatically. Especially Greg. I mean, I heard Greg Rousseau played like 81% of the snaps.
And Greg balling too, man. Shout out to Rousseau, man.
That's just the norm at this point.
He is trending, and I think he already is, but being a top 10 defensive end in this league.
Yeah, he's moving in that direction.
There's obviously 5 that we talked about before that you can legit.
But he's right towards the top.
That next group. Tier. Yeah, that next group, man. That Greg Rousseau, man.
He's right in that.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah,
he is tough.
Like I said, outside of those top 5,
top 5,
6, he's right up there with that.
He in that next convo, man.
Yeah, solidly in that group.
Very steady, man.
Yeah, so just seeing Vaughn starting to do it, I want to see what his snap count looks like this week. Again, it's a much heavier, much more physical game.
Yeah, different kind of week.
So,
but I mean, passing downs, I expect to see Vaughn.
Yeah.
Like if it's 3rd and 8 and more, 3rd and 6 or more, I want to see Vaughn out there.
Anything more than 3rd and 1, I need.
Damn near. But I'm saying especially 3rd and 6 and more.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Pin your ears back and do what you do. Because I know the game is going to be contained, but like Vaughn is smart and savvy enough where I know he going to be able to read the ball. So I want to get right to it. I don't even have to retract, go back, because I mean, I think you said everything that I would have said, as far as giving credit to where it was due. This Baltimore matchup, man, we already know, man, is
no round. We're back again already.
And I'm tired of saying this, but this is another game of the week, and I've spoken to a couple of my coworkers, and I'm like, think about quickly how many games of the week we've had over the last 6 months. We think about Bills Detroit, that was labeled game of the week. We think about Bills Chief, that was labeled game of the week. This is going to be the 3rd one. We know Rams ended up being the game of the week, but that wasn't going into the Rams game. Right. Nobody was labeling that. So here's my thought process: is like, these guys are more than ready, because this is a game where the moment is not going to be too big. I remember being, in the early stages of this turnaround with the Bills, where we were like, man, is the brights going to be too light? Are the players going to show up? Is Josh going to be able to? Bro, every time we've been in these moments, the man legit finds a way to ball out.
Yeah, I mean, he's still putting up some of the best QB numbers ever in the playoffs. Multiple metrics show that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, can there be a game where the defense is able to match what he does and what the offense does? Yeah. And if they can get that to line up, that's when they really...
Not to mention special teams. I mean, I'm hearing Codrington is going to be a full go. He's practicing this week. So, like, man, and we'll get into our predictions in like 20 minutes, but like I expect, especially with the Bills' home record and Allen's playoff numbers, I think has now gotten to 23 touchdowns, 4 interceptions now in his career. Hey man, this is like a really a where else would you rather be, because if you look from a defensive standpoint, if I'm a Bills defender, I'm becoming more confident. Not just because what I did last week against Bo Nix, but I'm looking at the Bills' home stretch, what they've done in their last, really, I'll say 5 to 6 weeks. We're not going to count week 18 because we know none of the starters played. But the defensive players starting in the last, really, 4 or 5 weeks, really not counting Lions and Rams game. And even if you want to count the Lions game, because, I thought about that Lions game, and I'm like, well, if we go back to it, for 3 quarters of that game, we held them to 14 points.
Yeah, just until
they started playing catch up, and they rambled off 3 or 4 touchdowns at the end.
Yeah, we can let you get these yards.
Yeah, go ahead.
Quickly.
But this defense has now found its groove. They have heard the naysayers, and I think this week too, and we'll get into our key matchups. But this week, all they're going to hear about is King Henry. All they're going to hear about is MVP Lamar Jackson. So I think that the thing I love most is that this is a very self-aware team, from the quarterback down to the kickers and the punters. Like, these guys, whether they say they listening or not, they hear what's going on. They know that the biggest, and I know they went ahead and signed Anthony Brown to pretend to be what's his name, Lamar Jackson, and Pretty sure they couldn't find somebody to be King Henry during practice.
They signed Anthony Brown?
Yeah, they signed Anthony Brown. They did. And they released Eli Uncle again. So Eli, he'll be back on the practice squad next week. But yeah, they went ahead and signed Anthony Brown.
Do he get a bonus every time you get cut in Brown?
I know. It's something they doing behind the scenes for Eli. Because y'all ain't gonna tell me they ain't gonna keep cutting Eli and bringing him back, and Brandon Bean ain't giving them some side cash or something.
Every time, here's an extra $20,000. Just keep going back up.
So anyway, Bills went ahead and signed Anthony Brown to the practice squad to mimic Lamar Jackson. I wouldn't be surprised if they not brought in, but maybe used the linebacker with some speed that they got to maybe Dorian Williams. Yeah. Hey, Dorian, just get behind Anthony real quick, and I need you to run downhill as hard as you can. Just run straight.
Man, aggressive.
Yeah. Because the crazy part about Henry,
he's bigger than all our linebackers.
He's bigger than all our linebackers, but also, this is a guy that uses no juke moves.
No.
That's the funniest part about
He's
Henry
got one little cut.
He got a cut, and he going up.
Yeah.
He's going north and south.
It's a slow cut.
We
up.
And somebody brought up a great point. I've watched Henry now for years. I mean, he's been in the league now a decade. And it literally comes down to getting him before he gets his gears going.
Once he gets ahead of steam.
Oh, yeah. You playing catch up. Yeah. You
going
for
gotta
ankles.
Get him going sideways.
Yeah.
Because you can't just let him put his foot in the ground and go.
Or as soon as that handoff happens, you need to meet him before he can make a decision where he going.
Yeah, because if he can get straight north and south immediately.
Bro, once he get to that second level.
Yeah, it's over.
And he see DeMar. Shout out to DeMar. But he see DeMar or Taylor Rapp.
Yeah, Taylor Rapp got hit with a concussion last game with that. Driving at his legs like this.
You can forget about it.
How big bro legs is. Run in front of that man if you want.
Exactly. But I'll get right to it, man. When Baltimore has the ball, we'll start there. What is your key matchup?
Shit. Pray? I mean, I say that jokingly, but this is the type of offense that you don't stop. It's good enough that there's no way to take away everything that they do. They have too diverse of a run scheme with Lamar and Derrick Henry. It's one of those pick your poisons. You can't allow Derrick Henry to run off 25 carries for 150 and still let Lamar get loose. Like how Pittsburgh got destroyed last week. They all them read options. They crashing down on Henry, and he's still running off 7, 8, 9 yards a pop. You can't let that happen because Jackson was just running free all day. So you can't let both kill you. Right. So this is a game that is completely one up front. This is a game where I need those D tackles to be as stout as they've ever been. Yeah. This is a game that's won and lost.
And please activate Dwayne Carter for this game. I know he was dealing with injuries in December, but I saw him in his puff jacket last week. But I want Dwayne Carter to play this game.
See, I don't know if I want Dwayne in this game.
You don't know? You think Quentin Jefferson and Jordan Phillips?
I think so, just because so far they've shown to be just more stout as a run defender.
I think I would just trade Carter for Jefferson for this game. I would like Big Phil in there. Just because Big Phil is still 330 plus. I know Jefferson is I think he's over 300.
Yeah, right around that 3 number.
I just wonder, even though Carter's inexperienced, I just wonder if he can provide some energy up front, from a maybe draw a holding penalty just off his initial burst. Because that's the one thing, when Carter was healthy in the first half of the year that I did appreciate with Carter was he at least gave me some bursts off the line of scrimmage where it was ooh, okay, Ed ain't giving us that consistently at that moment. So I'm ooh, okay, Carter, I can feel that. So, like I said, I don't know after injury if maybe he's lost a touch or two.
See, I don't know if this is the game for that, though, because I think one of the things we got in trouble with that Baltimore game that first time around, they used that penetration against us. Mm-hmm. They kept letting Ed and other defensive tackles bring fucking Ricard massive self in, and now we got a wide open lane. So, kind of using that quick twitch, right against us. I mean, we're a penetrating defense, so they use that against us. And, Dwayne Carter, he's early in the season prior to being hurt, he definitely was holding his own. But, since then, it's just he's been getting moved a lot more often. So, right now I'd rather go with the players who have done it before. So I'd rather see Phillips in there. I'd rather see even Austin Johnson in there and Quentin Jefferson in there as opposed to that. But I mean, more than anything, I need to see Oliver out there for a large majority of the snaps and Daquan even with an increased role. I just need to see those snap numbers increase. I need my best players to be my best players this week.
Right.
I need them to be able to keep these linebackers clean Because again, if this O-line and if the fullbacks and tight ends can get to the second levels and get their hands on those linebackers, it make things a lot more tough. So like I need that front to be just wreaking havoc. I don't need you to make a tackle every play, but I need you to be tying up these linemen so they're not getting to that second level, because that's when, with this team, you really get in trouble. Because Derrick Henry, like I said, have fun tackling him in open field. Good luck with Lamar Jackson in one-on-one situations. So like this is a rally to the ball game. This is a all hands on deck. I don't want to see situations where this one man making a tackle. I need game tackles every day.
Yeah,
like you have to match their physicalness right up front. You got to beat them to that punch. This is a game. This is bully ball game. This is gonna be bully ball weather.
Yeah,
and this is a team that comes in that wants to play that. All right, cool. But I can do that too.
And I'm not gonna hold you. This is a game where I'm selling out for what I want to make my main focus. Mm-hmm. So like, I know with some teams you play, and I remember thinking back to when we played Seattle and even San Fran to a certain point, but I'll say Seattle. Like, you play those teams and you're like, man, I don't want to sell out to stop Kenneth Walker. I don't want to sell out to stop McCaffrey or whoever the case may be. But there are some guys that are so special that you should say, you know what, I will take my chance. If this leads to a wide open Mark Andrews touchdown, I will live with it. So if I'm Bobby Babbage and McDermott this week, especially knowing the weather, cold, this is physical football, I'm damn near putting whatever I got to put to the line of scrimmage. And I'm going to dare you to throw the ball. Because even though I know you have a quarterback capable of throwing the ball, being accurate, I would much rather a pass-happy Baltimore game on Sunday than a we just can't stop Derrick Henry from rushing down our throat. Because when it's cold and when they are imposing their will, that's demoralizing for defenders and for your team. Because now you got your offense on the side, they huffing and puffing, they probably trying to stay warm. You got your defenders, who some of them can't come off the field because now Baltimore, like, we smell blood. We going to keep running to the line of scrimmage, handing this shit off because we don't want y'all to sub out nobody.
They ran 15 plays in a row against
Pittsburgh. So, like, if I'm coming into this game, man, and when Baltimore has the ball, I really think that key matchup is really that front seven versus Henry and Lamar.
100%.
And that's all. Like, I'm not worried about the secondary because I already know Douglas going to do his job. I know Benford going to do his job. I'm trying to gain more confidence in our safeties. I mean, our safeties have done a pretty solid job all the way around, to give them credit of being around the football. But, like, this is front seven versus their front, because sometimes they'll go 6 offensive linemen. They'll put the fullback in there.
Another 300-pounder.
Exactly. So, like, I'm saying front seven versus their strength, which is their run game and their play action. And I'm looking for, and this is just my small keys when Bills are on defense, it's eye discipline and having a designated guy for Lamar Jackson and a designated player or two for King Henry. Because if I'm focused on their 2 best players, because outside of them, I'm not saying Andrews is not a Pro Bowl player, because he has been in his career. I'm not saying Likely isn't good. I'm not saying that the other guys that they have aren't good, whether it's Bateman, if they can go, okay, we'll see. But I'm selling out. And it's just that simple for me. I am making you say, listen, God damn, they got everybody crowded up. Like, I can't even do a misdirection because whatever way I go, if I go this way, I got Greg and I got Bernard waiting for me. If I hold on to the ball and come left, I still got 3 or 4 defenders waiting for me on that side. So, like, I can't wait to see what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, because I'll say Zay Flowers' health is a big determining factor for how I attack this defense or how I attack this offense. Because if Zay's not in the game, I'm looking exactly like you just said, and I'm daring Lamar to beat. And it's not necessarily Lamar that I'm daring, because
it's their weapons. It's the receivers and the tight ends.
He can do whatever he needs to do on the field. I'm betting Bateman to beat me. I'm betting Aguilar to beat me. I'm betting Andrews and Likely to beat me. Justice Hill to beat me. I'm betting that my defenders can stop these players more time than they beat me.
Right, because they're gonna get what they're gonna get.
Regardless,
like Likely right now, out of everybody that you just mentioned, Likely is the best option. Looking at who our defenders are, Likely probably gives them the best advantage in a one-on-one matchup versus our safeties.
Outside of Zay Flowers.
Outside of Zay Flowers. he is that one matchup where I would say I can see him getting 8 catches for like 75 yards. But am I willing to likely have the game of his, not even the game of his life, am I willing to give up somewhat likely him being your number 1 target versus letting King Henry go for 200? You damn right. Because I tell you like this, if we come back here next week and we say likely led them in stats, but King Henry had 14 carries for 42 yards, I can guarantee you we won that game. Like, I can almost guarantee you we will win the game if we limit Henry and Jackson, and their best players on Sunday are their tight ends. Like, let your tight ends go off. I'm not expecting your tight ends to run for 80 yards and our guys are struggling to chase you and tackle them.
Yeah, because, I mean, for me, where I do have confidence is having that middle level of the defense actually back. You know, having the quarterback of your defense. I mean, Terrell Bernard, just watch him on the game. Watch him play to play. The amount of communication that he has, making sure the line is set, making sure the safety's where they're at, making sure the rest of the linebackers are where they need to be. That's a massive blow not having him in there. So with him being out there, I mean, that makes all the difference in the world.
And go back and think about a couple key games that I can think of where he made plays in the middle of the field versus tight ends, versus receivers. I can go back to the Houston game, which I still feel we should have won, where he made that acrobatic interception. I can go back to the Kansas City game at home where Patrick Mahomes trying to do what he do in the last 2 minutes, interception Terrell Bernard in the middle of the field. So, like, the fact that at any given point in time, they can rush Milano, they can rush Dorian Williams, but drop back Bernard in the coverage, that's a cheat code. And I think that a lot of Ravens fans, whether they believe it or not, just having Bernard and Milano together in these kind of moments, because this is the game that you need them for. Having them for the Denver game was nice.
Right.
But a game against Baltimore is where Bernard and Milano together can really thrive. Yeah, because guess what? Both can rush and both can drop back when needed. And both can be spies when needed.
Yeah, and one thing that I think the Bills defense don't get enough credit for is when they come with a plan to stop a running back. When they say,
"Yo, we just stopping here."
They can do that.
They can do it.
It's just when they don't, for the most part, they're fine with that.
Right.
You know, I look at the Seattle game, for example. Your keys are, we're not letting Kenneth Walker beat us.
And it worked.
So, like, they've shown times when they really show up to stop the run, they can do that.
Right.
But it's the way their defense is structured. That's normally not
their strength. Yeah.
And it's tough when you got you rolling out Dorian Williams, Bale Inspector, and Nicholas Moreau.
Come on, man.
And no Taron Johnson.
Come on.
So it's like,
of course, Hill gonna go for what? Justice Hill had that game, 90 yards, total yards?
Yeah, a whole bunch of receptions, a whole bunch of rushing yards.
You should do that against Bale Inspector.
Yeah, it's just
newsflash.
It just wasn't a good matchup. But at the same time, I know Baltimore's gotten better since then too.
They have.
However, I just realized the massive difference between this defense now and before. Taylor Rapp went out the first or second drive.
Right.
I mean, it's just a huge difference. Like, there's no way that this defense now is going to pull out that same time.
And here's the funny thing for me is, like, I've seen the reports where, and we'll get into our favorite matchup now here in a second, of, like, when the Bills have the ball, I've seen the argument from their fan base where it's like, well, we weren't actually clicking on defense at that point yet. Yeah, and y'all only had 10 points. But I'm like, on the flip side, our offense also had a hit in its stride week 4. So now, with Amari Cooper, with Ty Johnson now, a true option.
Actually thrown him.
Yeah, a true option within our, because like it used to be Ty Johnson coming in the game, he probably gonna block, might come in for 3 yards, 4 yards. Now you legit got to make sure you got a linebacker that can cover Ty Johnson. And because once he come out that backfield,
don't throw Roquan Smith on them running backs and expect y'all good one-on-one. That's not a recipe for success.
And then the other disrespectful thing I heard, and I love hard hitting safeties. I love guys who can hit. I got a lot of heart because one of my favorite players in the league is Budda Baker. But this whole thing that your boy Washington, I can't pronounce his first name off the top of my head, that 5'9", 180 safety, this whole theory that he gonna rock somebody to sleep on Sunday, I got news for y'all. If there's one thing that this Bills offense is this is not the offense of the 2020s with Stephon Diggs and Cole Beasley and Emmanuel Sanders.
These ain't cute receivers.
These motherfuckers, from the running backs on down to the tight ends, wide receivers, these boys will go head up with the boy. And now guess what? Now whether he get the guy and still make a tackle and he want to celebrate a 15-yard gain, that's on him. But while I'm in the stands, I'm going to still celebrate the first down, and I can guarantee you, if it's one-on-one versus Keon, I'm taking Keon. If it's one-on-one versus Amari Cooper, I'm taking Cooper. If it's Dawson Knox meeting him, I'm taking Knox. If it's Ray Davis meeting him, I'm taking Ray. If it's James Cook, I'm taking James Cook making a miss.
Yeah,
because that's the thing.
Contact balance is
Khalil
crazy.
Shakir,
So
boom, boom.
He done got hit hard
I'm a
times, and then I got another 8 yards.
I got another 8-10 yards to go. And then I heard the silly one of, well, if Josh try to run, y'all better hope Rowe or Washington don't run into him. I don't know if y'all seen highlights or actually watched Josh Allen. Yeah. But number one, he's a smarter runner than he's ever been now. So, like, he knows when to take chances, when not to.
I just when people say that, and it's not even like on a disrespectful stuff, I'll say just go watch him run and count
how many times
he's been rocked. No, this how many times he's been hit hard.
But that's what I'm saying.
Running.
Right. And that's what I'm
saying. He's been hit hard in the pocket a few times, throwing the ball. So that's all fair and good. You want to put a shot on him when he's throwing? Yeah, he's taking those hits, but as a runner down the field, he's the one delivering the contact more than he's the one getting hit. And he slides, he gets out of bounds. And
that's what I'm about to say.
I mean, he's
a great actor.
So like
so you gotta watch that. And that's the thing. Like, I love the fact that you brought up he's a savvy runner, because I think that's the evolution to me of his run game. Is like when he's running, obviously some of these is just he's running for 1 or 2 yards to get the first down. But like when he's escaping that pocket and picking up extra yards, he's either getting out of bounds, maybe throwing a quick stiff arm, and then he knows how to sell when he needs to, because he does understand, guess what, quarterbacks are protected. And if Ravens want to come in with the mantra, we come in to, send a message.
All right. Send them refs with that flag.
They going to be ready. And y'all can't say, they treating him like a... No, you just got to understand the most difficult part about defending a guy like Josh is just that, is that he's going to frustrate you to the point where you're going to want to knock his chest off and you're going to want to do a legal hit. But he going to juke you in a way, or he going to tempt you in a way where you're going to want a piece, and he might swerve in the corner, you know what I mean? Shout out to Jello.
And just look at Lamar.
Yeah.
He's the same.
Oh, yeah, Lamar's done a great job. Yeah.
He runs as much as any other quarterback in the league. But again, count the amount of times he's been hit.
Yeah.
Down the field. Again, he's getting hit in the pocket, but down the field as a runner, these two specifically, they're not taking big shots because they know how. I mean, Lamar slides and gets down like no other. Like, they know how to run. They know when it's time to pull the plug on the play. They're not taking shots. So, like, Josh is the same way. So when people say, man's the physical, I hear you, but my man is also 6'5", 250.
And he's also proven numerous times, especially when it get down to running into the end zone. Let me tell you something.
I am lowering my shoulder, and I'm not running from that contact.
Right. I'm doing both, because I've seen Allen, number one, lower his shoulder to get in. We've seen him do that to Bobby Wagner. I've seen him hop over guys. We've seen him do that with Budda Baker and those guys in Arizona week 1.
And his slow-ass juke be hitting people, too, which is the craziest thing.
And we saw him against the Chiefs. Fourth and two with the game on the line. The man runs 20-plus yards, 25-plus yards, really, if you count.
Multiple tackles.
Breaking tackles to get to the end zone. So, like, if you tell me in the open field you might try to knock his head off, cool. You might get flagged for it. But if you tell me we inside the red zone and he trying to get to the end zone, and you tell me, 5'8" safety going knock his guts out, I say I like to see it. I say I like to see it, because 99% the money on Allen. One of the best red zone, he might be the most dangerous red zone quarterback we have ever seen play the game of football. And you going to tell me that all of a sudden in the divisional round, we about to see something that's never happened before to this great red zone quarterback. Man, it's going to be a fun matchup. When the Bills got the ball, though, real quick, what's going to be the thing that you look for, Mark?
This is physicality. I mean, I think this is going to be big boy ball. I don't think this is the game they want to see, James Cook run the ball 30 times. Obviously, he's not the runner for that. However, you add the totality to that running back room, and you add the running ability of Josh, and you add the skill set that the line brings. This is a tone-setting physical matchup. Right. They need to impose their will. They're at home. They have dogs all across that O-line.
Yep.
Physical freaks at tackles. Yep. So let them boys get nasty. That's 100% what I want to see.
Make it nasty.
Ravens is a very aggressive, flying to the ball defense.
And you got to use that against them.
And let these tackles get out there and go to work. Let Alec Anderson unstable ass get out there and go to work because that boy got a screw loose.
Yeah.
And it's perfect.
And them flags going to be fine because, playoffs, they get a little edgy with the flags. So,
Yeah, so again, for me on offense, this is 100% a big boy game. I'm just looking at those 5. I would even say 6. I'm looking at those 6 linemen. All right, y'all boys. Open up these holes for James Cook. Open up these holes for Ty Johnson. Open up these holes for, Ray Davis if he out there. Frank Gore. But if Frank Gore, he ain't getting
Frank Gore. I know, right? Frank
he
might get suited up. I was about to say, he might get a helmet.
He might get a helmet, but he ain't seen it.
Yeah, they going to be like,
it's been cute. It's an auntie chill.
Auntie chill.
Yeah, he's not going to get no snaps. However, open up them holes for those running backs and set the tone and set the tone and make a clean pocket for your quarterback. This is 100% on that line.
Yeah, and I think we already discussed it, but this is a game.
And not to cut you off real quick, and another area of improvement, early in the season, this line was having some difficulty with some pickups and some communication. That has been buttoned up completely since then.
Yeah.
You're not seeing the same issues when lines are stunting or doing some simulated pressures.
Yeah.
The offense, they're passing stuff off beautifully right now.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. This line is offensively, they're going to live and die with how good this line holds up.
Yeah, and the only thing I was going to add was just the physicality standpoint is I've spoken to a couple people already, and I said it's a mentality, and I always say a lot of these teams develop the mindset of their coach, and I think McDermott has done a great job in specific matchups, but overall with this team and just putting toughness into these guys. And I think his message this week, and they normally listen to coach, so I'm gonna trust that coach is going to send the right message. I think his message all week is going to be tough, tough, tough. Buffalo football. They in our house. And my man Coach Eve used to say, rest in peace, don't let them come in your house and eat your food. Don't let them come in your house and sit in your living room and chat with your girlfriend and watch TV. That's the thing. You can't let a team like this come in there and knock you around and get comfortable. Yeah, you Baltimore. All right, cool. But you're not in your nest. All right, you in the mafia house. And I think that's the message that I think that every coach from Babbage to Joe Brady, from all the way to McDermott, they're going to send that same message as we undefeated at home for a reason. Because when people come here, guess what? By the third quarter, they ready to go home. And guess what? 9 times out of
cold.
I know. And 9 times out of 10, what has happened, especially most recently when you play the Bills in Buffalo, is at the top of the 4th, motherfuckers is cold. And if we got any type of real lead on them, 10 points, 17 points, they don't know what time.
Yeah,
that bus coming in.
Ravens and Lamar and them, they don't play in weather like this on the regular.
Yeah.
You've never played in a game this cold.
I think they said the coldest game I saw, they said 20-something for both Henry and Lamar Jackson. They both, their lowest game was in the 20s.
Single digits.
And the field going to be 1.
That sun going to be gone well before game time. So it's going to be cold. So let's see how that turf hit different once it's 1 degree out there. And don't take a couple sacks.
And don't let Greg Rousseau. And
that's
that's what I'm saying.
You got to drop back and pass again and again.
And let's see if likely hands like that. All right, let's see if those guys can catch the ball. Because we saw some of those Bills young dudes who had never played here before. That first cold game or two, and they dropped a couple balls. They're like, this is okay. All right, never mind.
It's like a bowling ball.
Yeah, all right, never mind. All right, let me get it right. So I'm looking at the advantage. Just going back to when the Bills got the ball, I'm looking at Dawson Knox. Been there, done that. Yeah, I done caught negative degrees. I'm looking at James Cook. You've now been through the all the types of weather games here. I'm looking at Amari Cooper, all the different games he's played in his 10-year career. I know he's adapted to it. I'm looking at Ty Johnson. He's already shown his hands are like glue. I'm looking at all the weapons that we got, and I'm saying to myself, this is a game that we got to let Baltimore figure it out. We got to let Baltimore say, God damn it, I thought we had everybody tied up. Damn, I forgot about Mac Hollins. 15 yards down the field. Now he's stepping over your safety who you said was going to knock the lights out of Josh Allen. And now you mad. All right, because Mac Hollins is now killing you. And then you got Khalil Shakir. Now Mr. Spin Cycle has now got 5 catches for 51 yards at halftime. So, I love the fact that this is a game where obviously the attention is more so on Lamar and Henry. But like I've been telling people, the good thing about the Bills offense is that it's not just about one person. It's not just about two people. I mean, shout out to James Cook for having a great year, but it's also about Ty. It's also about Kincaid. It's about Knox. It's about Hollins. It's about Coleman, Cooper, Shakir, Curtis Samuel is saying, hi guys, I'm also on this team too. So like when you got 9-10 different ways that you can kill a team, whether it's in the short, intermediate, or for the big plays. Because that's the thing, like the Bills, for everything that we talk about, I don't think they get a credit. They don't get enough credit for the splash plays. Like for them to be this patient, very efficient when it comes to running the ball type of offense, they can hit you with a splash play at any time. Whether it's Khalil Shakir down the field, whether it's Keon Coleman. I know Keon Coleman got the biggest average yards per reception on the team, but like whether it's Keon, whether it's Cooper, and that's going to be, real quick before we get into prediction, one of my key players to watch for this game is Amari Cooper. I truly believe, this is one of those games where we have a mismatch on the outside, because I know Marlon Humphreys is very good moving around. He plays a lot more nickel. But I know they like to move him around.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect Humphrey, his probably main task would probably be Khalil Shakir, if we being honest, and maybe mix it up and throw him on some other guys. But I think Amari Cooper, this is his game where ain't no decoy, ain't no this, no that. This is straight Amari Cooper, 6 catches, maybe 81 yards and a tutty, because I feel like this is a game where they know, hey, we don't got to rely on you, Amari. But I'm telling you right now, Josh probably going to say, man, listen, if I see you 1-on-1 and I feel like you can make a play, I'm going to trust you to make that play. And I think that Amari going to be ready for that too, because Amari had a quiet 2 catches last game, whatever the case may be. We know he had the touchdown in the last home game in the regular season where it was just a jump ball situation. But I'm looking at Amari, I'm looking at Keon, and I'm looking at some of these weapons from a physical standpoint that Baltimore don't match up with. Because we got to remember, outside of Humphrey and Kyle Hamilton, that secondary kind of been all over the place this year. I know they want to give all the credit in the world to Washington for being a hitter.
Yeah,
all right.
They stabilized on the back end some.
Yeah, but it's like, I can't trust Stevens, right? Baltimore Ravens fans will say that. They be like, Stevens is so up and down. Yeah, good luck. We know, shout out to Trey White. But they only just sprinkle Trey White out there. Maybe they give Trey White more looks because he'll be back in Buffalo.
I doubt it.
But guess what?
Get a handful of snaps.
Right. But guess what?
Don't put Trey out there.
But if you want to, I mean, hey, listen, love you, Trey.
Don't do my man.
Love you, Trey.
That's not the.
Love you, Trey. But
yeah, you put Trey out there, I'm running go routes all day. Man, knees don't work like they used
I'm just saying. I love our looks on the outside, but like I said, it's gonna be Bills offense got to do what they do, physicality standpoint, and like I said, for as much attention as we are giving Henry and Jackson, I love the fact that Bills offense is not getting the amount of love this week, because I think the key to the Bills' success on offense is going to be the fact that literally anybody can make a play. Mm-hmm. And I think they're going to use that to their advantage. But I want to get right to it, man. I ain't even going to go no bold stat lines. Just your prediction on the game, score-wise, and then how you see it broken down.
Yeah, so one factor that we didn't touch on is, I think there's a certain level of pride that comes in a game like this, too.
Facts.
I mean, you get essentially beat down by this team earlier in the year.
35-10.
You win, 13 games this season, and you a home underdog? For the first time ever in your franchise history of being at home, and I'm a dog? Right, I'm a dog. I got 13 wins. I'm 2 seed. Got more wins to this team coming in, but I'm a dog?
Okay.
And everybody's saying that, they got it. We can't do nothing to stop them.
We can't stop these two guys. Like I said, I love the fact that they keep talking about Henry and Jackson.
I hear y'all.
Make everything this weekend about Henry and Jackson.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. And they hear it. Ain't no way to sugarcoat it. They know what time it is. I mean, you've seen post-game interviews with Ed and, Rasul Douglas lately. They know what's being said.
What Rasul doing the last one? He said, yo, Ed, come here real quick.
Yeah. hey, what's that?
What's that?
Yeah, so, I mean, they hear the stuff. They know what's being said. And I think there's a level of, like I said, a level of pride that comes along with that. So, and I think that can't be undersold. And being at home also makes a difference, too.
Oh, yeah, because we coming rowdy.
It's going to be a loud
electric
environment. I mean, Lamar was here in the playoffs a couple years ago and said it was loud. I mean, you had
Oh my bro, you had 4 people out there.
1,000 people in the
Dennis might have been the only one out there. Him and Lisa.
Yeah, you multiply that by 10
million.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a different.
And we know Raven Fly gonna come.
Yeah, I mean, it's
we gonna see the black and the purple.
It's a quick drive. Y'all gonna be.
Yeah, I see y'all. The buses go. They said, hey, we got 4 buses coming, maybe 6.
That's cool.
That's cool.
You probably have a couple thousand in the whole stadium.
But 55, 60 plus gonna be better.
It's gonna be drowned out easy. So
hey.
You're gonna see
I can't wait
in there, but it's cool. So I mean, it's gonna be a hard hitting, physical game. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be nasty. I think this is a game that might even be ugly from time to time. Like,
I look back at the one from 4 years ago, and that game at halftime was 3-3.
Yeah, it's gonna be an ugly game. I don't think it'll be that low scoring.
Oh no.
But also don't think this is Bills Rams.
You're not about to get 42 to 48.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a low to mid 20s, probably at best, unless a strange game script come out and then something different. But both of these teams got good enough defense that I think can keep it from being a pure track meet. And I really don't think either team wants it to be a track meet.
Right. So what you got, man?
So what's the spread? 1.5. So man, I think this is a game that the Bills come out and win. I think this is just you show up and I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Right.
Like, I hear you. I hear all the talk. You've been talking all week. I've been hearing this. You got the MVP, yada, yada, yada. You coming to my house, think you about to do something, I'm about to punch you in your face.
Right.
And it's straight like that. So, I mean, I think this is a game that's going to be a 24-19 win. I
like it. I like the awkwardness, too.
Oh, yeah. Strange number.
I'll go quickly to my score prediction. I got 28-20. I flirted with the 30s because I said, you know what? This Bills offense has been so dominant that I expect them to give us another 30 burger. So I will not be surprised. I'll come off bat saying I would not be surprised if they hang 31, 35 on this Ravens defense. Just because I'm just so confident in what the Bills offense brings to the table. Like, there is not a offense in the AFC. I'll say the AFC because I know the NFC got a couple over there. In the AFC, there is not a more diverse offense than the Buffalo Bills. And we can hang our hat on that because, number one, we got the quarterback, we got the running backs with an S, we got the tight ends with an S, and we got wide receivers 5+ that can get you in the end zone. So, like, when I look at this offense, I'm like, there's no way they're not scoring more than 24 points. I don't care what Baltimore got planned because if you think about it, we just discussed if we are the Bills, what our 2 main focuses are going to be. And we said Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. If I'm the Ravens defense, what are my main focuses? Okay, James Cook. All right, cool. I want to take away James Cook. Okay, cool. What about this guy? What about that guy? What about our rookie? Because I'm telling you right now, if all goes well and they say, okay, we eliminated James Cook, and then Ty Johnson ends up having a great game, or Kincaid ends up going off for 4 catches for 60 yards, Knox has a couple red zone touchdowns, but then all of a sudden, guess what? We've locked down all your receivers but one guy. Oh, yeah, that's Keon Coleman. He has 4 catches for 100 yards. They're going to be sick. But that's the advantage the Bills have is that you can legit say I want to eliminate Cook and I want to eliminate maybe Cooper, but that doesn't take away Shakir and what he brings. That doesn't take away Samuel and what he brings. That doesn't take away Knox, Kincaid, what they bring. And then Keon Coleman, to me, is that secret weapon. Because if your best secondary guys are going to eliminate Cooper and Shakir, Keon Coleman is still, to me, athletically and just physically more gifted than any guy that you got as your 3rd or 4th best corner or your 3rd or best, whatever your other safety option is not going to be able to guard Keon Coleman.
Yeah, and one thing that I still just have supreme confidence in, and that I necessarily haven't seen from the Ravens, particularly this year, Josh Allen has shown that even if the run game is not where it needs to be, I can put the whole team on my back and throw us to 30+ points.
Oh, right.
And I have not seen that from the Baltimore offense in games where Henry's held below 100 or below 80 rushing yards.
Yeah,
those are games where they're not even really getting a win.
Yeah, nah.
So if things don't go their way from a rushing attack, can he drop back play after play for the entire game and get it done?
Yeah, and that's not to say Lamar hasn't had a 5-touchdown game here and there, but a lot of his best performances offensively this year, whether he had 4 or 5 touchdowns, has been off the strength that Henry has done so much damage that he can get in the red zone, play action, and throw it to Andrews for 18 yards for a touchdown, throw it to Likely for 15 yards for a touchdown. But I think what you're trying to say is like Allen can say, you know what, guess what? Cook struggling. Yeah, I got him at 40 yards today. I can still throw 4 touchdowns just by moving it up and down the field on y'all. Up and down the field. Like, not just, oh, I get to the red zone and I'm passing the ball. That's cute. But any quarterback can do that when they got Derrick Henry. And that's not to take anything away from Lamar because Lamar is gifted. But, like, I think what you're trying to say is, like, Josh can legit watch a game where Cook has 32 yards rushing and throw 300-plus yards, 4 touchdowns.
It's just, we've seen it.
Right.
And it's just, and I'm not saying that Lamar can't. I just haven't seen him do it on this
on
stage.
On a consistent basis. Like,
and in this cold. Like, if you can come into Buffalo in January and single digits
then kudos.
And drop back 35, 40 times and throw yourself to a victory, then man, you got it.
Shout out.
You got it.
Shout out to you, man.
Until I can see you do that, then I'm gearing up to stop this running game and daring you to beat me with your cast of receivers more than likely without Zay Flowers.
And just real quick, and we can slowly end it on this note, give a couple minutes, but like this is also what we dreamed of when we got Josh Allen to this level, was having home games here when we are very good, just because we can have that advantage. Just because we know we got the quarterback. We know we got the quarterback who can play in these elements. And we know we have the type of fan base where we will bring the energy that is also an added plus to give that home field advantage. This is all we ever asked for. Now, we know it would be great to have a home AFC championship game here. Cool, we'll get that one of these years. And shucks, who knows? Houston can surprise Kansas City. You know, we never know. But at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. This is why people say, oh, well, you should have rested Josh Allen. I remember, a month ago, y'all was like, we won a division. Y'all was like, we should rest him for the last 3-4 weeks. This is why you don't. Because guess what? This game could have been played in Baltimore had we just taken the foot off the gas. This is why you play up until week 17, is because you have to make sure you at least lock in that 2 seed. Because this game could have very well been played in Baltimore, and I'm telling you right now, I would feel slightly different. Yeah, right? I still have
confidence.
I'll still have confidence. Because I've seen Josh perform on the road, but like when you add in the fact that it's going to be 7, 8, 9 degrees, but you got players who comfortable in it. When you add in the fact that this whole crowd is going to be on the side for your defense to be able to get after it. Lamar Jackson, I'm telling you right now, has probably played in some great places. I know he played in Kansas City before, a bunch of other places. I mean, shit, he done played in Pittsburgh a bunch of times. But guess what? Playoff Buffalo crowd, different beast.
And it's gonna be cold. It's cold, man.
Different man.
Listen, man.
And I've seen that man clap his hands a million times, get frustrated with his offensive lineman because he can't.
You're not gonna hear nothing. It's gonna be all silent counseling.
And don't come to my end zone. I'm telling you right now, we over here, we lit. Yeah. We hot. We getting crazy. You know what I mean? Seats getting clamped.
Yeah, that end zone is getting cracked.
Oh yeah.
I broke my hand last week.
Listen, it's getting cracked because I was live last week. Yeah, I was live last week for the Denver game, but this one right here, boy, ain't gonna be no quiet spot in that stadium. So, super excited for this matchup. Any last words you want to give him, man?
No, man. Enjoy the rest of the football this week, but this last game of the weekend is about to be lit.
It's the game.
And enjoy the show. That's it. Enjoy the show that 17 gonna put on.
As we always say, man, get your popcorn ready, man. This is the Bills' third time, like I said before, playing in the game of the year. Josh Allen in every one of those games was the MVP of that game. The Buffalo Bills defense pretty much showed up in each of those games as well. So I expect nothing less. It's a home game. I'm asking if you going, show up. You know what I mean? Show up vocally, show up, you know, in a proper way. Don't get yourself kicked out of the game, though. Don't sell your tickets to Baltimore fans if you can. And let's have fun. It's going to be a party. I know it's going to be cold as hell, but it was cold as hell 3-4 years ago when we had that perfect game against New England. So just remember, be responsible, but let's have fun, man. We got to enjoy it. 2 MVP caliber guys going at it. 2 great coaches, 2 great fan bases. Again, ignore the negativity. Focus on the actual game. Don't focus on the back and her, he say, she say, we say. The game going to be played on the field between two teams. Let them do the talking. All right, we going to meet y'all back here next week. Bills W is what we praying for, but outside of that, y'all stay warm. Y'all bundle up. Take care of your health. And go Bills, baby.
Go Bills.
Go Bills, baby.
See y'all next. Win, lose, or draw. We'll see y'all next week. What's going to be a victory, Dub?
Oh, yeah, you already know. Big dubs, as my man Poyer would say.
Shout out to Fitz Magic this weekend.
Yes, sir. Shout out Fitz, man. Peace out, y'all.